So today, let's talk about solution. But first, what is a solution? So solution in chemistry is defined as a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances, where one substance known as the solvent dissolves another substance called the solute. So here are the table of contents on our report. First, concentration units. Second, principle of solubility. Third, colligative properties of solution. So, first is concentration units. So, concentration units in chemistry refers to the quantitative measurement of the amount of solute present in a solution. So, here are some example of concentration units. So, the first one is molarity. It represented by capital letter M. So, molarity is the number of moles of solute per liter of solution. So, the formula for molarity is capital M equals N over V, where M is the molarity of solution in moles per liter. And N is the number of moles of solute, and V is the volume of solution in liters. So, the second one is molality. It represents by small m. So, molality is the number of moles of solute per kilogram of solvent. So, the formula for molality is small m equals moles of solute over mass of solvent in kilograms. The third one is mass percent. So, mass percent is the mass of solute per 100 grams of solution. So, the formula for mass percent is mass percent equals mass of solute over mass of solution times 100. And the fourth one is parts per million or ppm. Is a unit of concentration used for very dilute solutions. It is the number of grams of solute per million grams of solution. So the formula for parts per million is ppm equals mass of solute over mass of solution times 10 raised to 6. And the last one is parts per billion or ppb. So parts per billion is another unit of concentration used for very dilute solution. It is the number of grams of solute per billion grams of solutions. So the formula for parts per billion is ppb equals mass of solute over mass of solution times 10 raised to 9.
Let's proceed now to the principles of solubility. Solubility refers to the ability of a solute to dissolve in a solvent to form a homogeneous solution. So, it is the ability of a substance to dissolve in a solvent, forming a uniform single-phase solution. It depends on factors like temperature, pressure, and the chemical properties of both the solute and solvent. So we have here the principles of solubility. First, like dissolves like. Solutes tend to dissolve in solvents that have similar chemical properties. Polar solutes dissolve in polar solvents, while nonpolar solutes dissolve in nonpolar solvents. This principle is based on the similar intermolecular forces between solute and solvent molecules. The principle like dissolves like states that substances dissolve in solvents with similar polarity due to compatible intermolecular forces. Polar solutes, example salts, dissolve in polar solvents, example water, through interactions like hydrogen bonding or dipole-dipole forces. Nonpolar solutes, example oils, dissolve in nonpolar solvents, example hexane. Due to dispersion forces, polar and nonpolar substances do not mix because their intermolecular forces are incompatible. This concept is essential for understanding solubility in chemistry and practical applications like cleaning and solvent solution. The second principle is effect of temperature. For most solid solutes, solubility increases with temperature. As temperature rises, particles move faster, facilitating the dissolution process. In contrast, the solubility of gases decreases with increasing temperature due to the increased kinetic energy of gas molecules, causing them to escape from the solution. So the next one is the effect of pressure on the solubility of gases in liquids is governed by Henry's law, which states that the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas above the liquid. How it works? First, increased pressure. When pressure above a liquid is increased, more gas molecules are forced into the liquid. These molecules collide with the liquid's surface and dissolve, increasing the gas solubility. Number 4. Nature of solute and solvent. Ionic compounds dissolve well in polar solvents, while nonpolar compounds may not dissolve in polar solvents. The size and structure of the molecules also affect solubility. Larger or complex molecules often have lower solubility due to limited interaction with solvent molecules. So, ionic compounds dissolve well in polar solvents due to charge-based interactions, while nonpolar compounds do not dissolve in polar solvents because of a lack of similar charge interactions. The solubility of a substance also depends on the size and complexity of its molecules, which can affect how easily it can interact with a solvent. Number 5. Saturation and concentration. A solution reaches saturation when no more solute can dissolve at a given temperature and pressure. If more solute is added, it will not dissolve and it will remain undissolved. A supersaturated solution which contains more solute than it would under normal conditions can be created by altering temperature. A saturated solution occurs when the maximum amount of solute has dissolved in a solvent at a specific temperature and pressure. At this point, the solution is in equilibrium, meaning the rate at which the solute dissolves is equal to the rate at which it precipitates out. If more solute is added to a much saturated solution, it will not dissolve because the solvent has reached its maximum capacity for dissolving that particular solute at the given temperature and pressure. Instead, the excess solute will remain undissolved and can settle at the bottom of the container. The concentration of a solution refers to the amount of solute dissolved in a given quantity of solvent, typically expressed as molarity of solute per liter of solution, mass percent or other units. Let's proceed now to the colligative properties of solution. Colligative properties are properties of solutions that depend on the number of solute particles in a given amount of solvent, rather than the type of solute particles. These properties are significant in understanding how solutes affect the physical characteristics of solvents, and they play a crucial role in various chemical, biological, and industrial processes. Let's proceed now to the first colligative properties. First is the boiling point elevation. The boiling point of a solution is higher than that of the pure solvent. This elevation is directly proportional to the molarity of the solute and can be calculated using the formula. Adding a solute to a solvent increases the boiling point of the solution compared to the pure solvent. This occurs because the presence of solute particles reduces the number of solvent molecules at the surface, requiring more energy to reach the boiling point. To read this equation, delta T is equal to the Van Hoff factor, multiplied by the boiling point, elevation constant, and the molality of the solution, where delta T is the boiling point elevation, Kb is the ebullioscopic constant, and m is the molality of the solution, and lastly, I is the Van 't Hoff factor. Let's have the freezing point depression. The addition of a solute lowers the freezing point of the solvent. Solute particles disrupt the formation of the solid lattice structure of the solvent, thus lowering the temperature which freezing occurs. Like boiling point elevation, freezing point depression depends on solute concentration. This means that when a solute is added to a solvent, the freezing point of the solvent decreases. This phenomenon, known as freezing point depression, occurs because the solute particles interfere with the ability of the solvent molecules to arrange themselves into the orderly lattice structure needed for freezing. Here's how it works and how it can be calculated. Delta T sub F is equal to the Van Hoff factor, replied by the freezing point depression, constant and the molality of the solution, where delta T sub F is the freezing point depression, Kf is the cryoscopic constant, m is the molality of the solution, and I is the Van 't Hoff factor. We have the last one, the osmotic pressure. The osmotic pressure is the pressure required to prevent the movement of solvent molecule through a semipermeable membrane from a region of lower solute concentration to one higher solute concentration. Osmotic pressure can be calculated using the formula, where I is the Van 't Hoff factor, m is the molarity of the solution, R is the gas constant, and T is the temperature in Kelvin. Osmosis is crucial in biological systems, such as the movement of water in and out of cells. Osmotic pressure is a fundamental concept in chemistry and biology. It is the pressure required to stop the natural process of osmosis, where solvent molecules move through a semipermeable membrane from a region of lower solute concentration to a region of higher solute concentration.